What Coco Gauff has refound in her tennis, which was missing earlier this year, has been identified. Coco Gauff has had a very tumultuous 2025 season, but she now appears to be coming out on the other side. Gauff won her second Grand Slam at the French Open earlier this year, but she has faced many struggles since then. A lot of these concerns have been related to Gauff's serve, which continues to be a work in progress. However, after Gauff won the Wuhan Open, it has been pointed out that something else appears to have returned that she seemed to be struggling with earlier this year. Laura Robson identifies key area that was missing from Coco Gauff's tennis. In reaction to her struggles on serve, Gauff parted ways with coach Matt Daly and brought in biomechanical expert Gavin McMillan, who had previously worked with world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka. When speaking about why she believes Gauff is going to win the WTA finals this year, former Wimbledon junior champion Laura Robson spoke about the impact she thinks McMillan has had. Robson also explained how much happier she thinks Gauff is looking on court now, something she has suggested was missing earlier this year. I think it's the back end of the season that's made the biggest difference for me. We've just seen the highlights of the match against Jasmine Paolini in Rome, which was a really tough match if you're a Coco Gauff fan, Robson said live on Sky Sports. There was so many technical issues going on, there was so many struggles with the serve and the forehand. That was an ongoing situation until New York, when she brought in Aryna Sabalenka's old technical coach to try and make a difference mid-season, and clearly, mentally more than anything, that's changed something for her. She's gone out to the tournaments in Asia, played really well, and is actually enjoying it again, which I think she has been missing sometimes this year. It's just looked a bit of a struggle. And this is kind of what we saw here last year, that when it gets tough and you think maybe it's time to shut down and end the season earlier, and work on all of these technical aspects away from prying eyes, that's when she seems to play her best tennis and comes up with the goods time and time again. Yeah, that's why I think towards the end of the season, when everyone is tired, that's when you see the best in Coco Gauff. For months, Coco Gauff's game shimmered with promise but lacked that unmistakable edge, the kind that once electrified stadiums and rattled her opponents. The forehand was steady but hesitant, the serve powerful but inconsistent, and her usually fiery court presence seemed dimmed by something invisible yet unmistakable. Now, as the 2025 season winds toward its dramatic close, it's become clear that what Coco Gauff has refound in her tennis isn't just technical precision. It's her spark, her belief, and her joy. The transformation didn't happen overnight. It was slow, almost imperceptible at first, like the sun creeping over the horizon after a long night. Earlier this year, Gauff looked weighed down by expectation. The Grand Slam champion suddenly facing the pressure of defending points, maintaining form, and living up to a reputation that had ballooned faster than most 21-year-olds could handle. But somewhere along the way she rediscovered the very ingredient that first made her special: freedom. The weight of early success. When Coco Gauff burst onto the global stage as a 15-year-old, her rise was meteoric. The fearless energy she brought to Wimbledon 2019, when she toppled Venus Williams, became symbolic of a new era. But with time, the magic of being the underdog faded, replaced by the demands of being a contender. Every swing of her racket was analyzed, every match dissected for signs of progress or decline. By early 2025, her tennis began to look mechanical, efficient, yes, but missing the emotional rhythm that used to pulse through every rally. The backhand remained her trusted weapon, but the forehand often betrayed her under pressure. Her body language, once brimming with intensity, turned cautious. Critics began to whisper, "Has the fire dimmed?" The missing ingredient: joy. It wasn't her technique that was missing. It wasn't her physical conditioning either. What Coco had lost and has now rediscovered is joy. The pure, unfiltered joy of playing tennis, not to prove something, but because it sets her soul alight. When she began working again with her longtime coach and leaned into a more expressive mindset, the shift was noticeable. In press conferences, her words became lighter. In matches, her smiles more frequent. She began dancing again during changeovers, chatting easily with fans, celebrating winners with fist pumps that came from the heart rather than habit. Her mother once said that Coco plays her best when she lets go. That freedom returned, and so did her brilliance. Confidence through struggle. One might assume that rediscovering confidence comes from winning, but in Coco's case, it was the struggle that rebuilt her. Tough losses earlier this season, including early exits from tournaments where she was expected to dominate, forced her to reflect on what truly mattered. Instead of obsessing over rankings or points, Gauff began focusing on her identity as a player and a person. She started embracing the idea that tennis isn't about perfection but adaptation, and that realization reshaped her mindset. As she told reporters recently, When I stopped chasing perfection and started chasing improvement, everything clicked again. The result? A game that feels once again alive with creativity. Her footwork is sharper, her court coverage breathtaking, and her forehand, once a target for opponents, has evolved into a confident, attacking shot that sets up points beautifully. The mental game, calm within chaos. Tennis, more than any other sport, is a battle between mind and body. For Gauff, the 2025 turnaround has been a testament to mental growth. Earlier this year, frustration came easily, a missed break point, an unforced error, a momentum shift. But now her composure is striking. She's learned to treat each point as its own universe, to reset quickly, breathe deeply, and trust herself. This new calmness doesn't mean she's less intense. It means she channels that intensity with precision. The Coco Gauff who once yelled in frustration now closes her eyes, nods, and resets. It's the maturity of a champion who's walked through fire and come out wiser. Support system and self-discovery. Behind every resurgence lies a strong foundation, and for Gauff, that's her family. Her parents, Corey and Candy, have been constants through her highs and lows. They've watched her navigate fame, expectation, and self-discovery, and always reminded her that tennis is what she does, not who she is. This distinction helped her balance the chaos of professional life. She began reading more, journaling, and exploring creative outlets that kept her grounded. In interviews, she's spoken about learning to protect her peace, a sign that her growth extends far beyond the court. Rediscovering the fearless Gauff. Perhaps the most thrilling part of this rediscovery is the re-emergence of fearless Coco. The player who takes the ball early, who dares to rip winners on break points, who believes she can turn any match around. That fearlessness is now mixed with experience, a deadly combination. She's not just reacting anymore, she's orchestrating. Her matches have regained that electricity that makes fans lean forward in their seats.